Hey guys. So I am a little early because I wanted to leave a little time for people to come in. So while people are coming in, let me just say off the bat that I will be switching my view from here, which is YouTube. Hi YouTube fam, to here, which is Instagram. Hey Instagram peeps. And that is because I am live both on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. So I will try to answer your questions. And while we wait for people to come in, I am just going to introduce myself because between YouTube and Instagram, I have a few couple hundred new people. So thanks for dropping by. Nice to meet you. And for those of you who are new, my name is Chadel Matheret. That's how we say it in St. Lucia. In Trinidad, they say Matherin. And I create content on natural hair and I'm trying to branch out into lifestyle. So that is that. Let me tell you 5 random facts about me while we wait for persons to come in. I am a social worker by profession. I currently work in the humanitarian field with Children on the Move. And Children on the Move is the title given to children of asylum seekers, refugees, and migrants. So that's what I do. I have an interest in public health. So Sis has a full career happening outside of this. So I'm trying to be consistent and keep up with my platforms. So we'll see. 2020, look out for me. God willing. So yes, that's one thing, one fun fact about me. I like food, but I don't like cooking too. What else could I tell you about me? I have 3 siblings, 1 older sister and 2 younger brothers. My sister, you may know, she has her own audience. She does a lot of faith-based blogging and writing. So some of you may have very well come across me through her. My little brothers never wanted me to post their stuff on my platforms, so I don't. So these are 3 things. For I am St. Lucian by birth and patriotism. Sis is a proud Lucian, but I live in Trinidad right now. And number 5, what will I tell you about me? Number 5. I love reading. Yes, I love reading. I am an avid reader. I read to distress. So these are 5 fun things about me. I have another device here where I'm going to try to read your comments on Instagram so that I can answer your questions. While I wait, I've gotten a few questions. Thank you, Instagram fam. My YouTube people, YouTube pips, don't be afraid to send me your questions in the live chat. I will be checking out your questions so that I can answer your questions. As I would have said prior, I am here to answer all your questions. So this is your personal consultation via a live video. So all of the questions that you've been sending me via inbox that I sometimes don't get around to answering or I don't get around to answering in depth, you can ask them there because chances are other people are wondering and they're asking these very same questions. Also, just for future reference, if you have a question and it's a general question, chances are I may already have a YouTube video on it. So check out my YouTube channel, especially my Instagram pips, because I may already have a YouTube video on that topic and it may answer your question. So I have a few questions coming in. Okay, so let's see how I'll be able to answer because I can't access your questions. Hey guys, I'm seeing some of my friends on Instagram. Hey Jonette. Okay, so before I get into the questions that I've gotten, let me just give you a briefing on my natural hair journey. I've been natural for 8 years now. Yes, August would have made it 8 years. I've done 2 big chops. So my first big chop was in 2011 when I got to university. The very night I landed in Trinidad, I cut my hair, and I did a big chop, a really big chop. I had about 5 months worth of growth then. So my hair was really short then, and I grew out my hair for about 6 years. And about 2 years ago in September, I did a second big chop. And that second big chop was not as a result of any damage or anything. I just felt the need for change. And Coco Chanel says, when a woman cuts her hair, she's about to change her life. That was me. I really felt the urge to cut my hair, and I cut my hair. And this is the result thereafter. Right? So a lot of people have been asking me, especially when my hair is stretched, how my hair has grown so quickly. Now, I actually don't feel like my hair has grown quickly. I feel like my hair has grown at an average normal rate. My hair grows at an average rate, which is half an inch per month. What I would say is that I do a very good job of retaining my length. So right off the bat, let me just give you a little information. Your hair is growing. Even if you're not seeing length, your hair is growing. That's what hair does. Unless you have some genetic or some health condition that is preventing your hair from growing, or you're on severe medication that is preventing your hair from growing, your hair is growing. That's what hair does. It grows. If you're not seeing your length, and your hair is not appearing like it's growing, then what is happening is that you're not retaining your length. Your hair is breaking off faster than it is growing. Right? So that is probably what's happening with you. And so let me get into your questions, and then I will get back a little bit more into my hair journey, and we can take it from there. So we have until 8 p.m. because after 8 p.m. sis is gone like the wind. So I have a question here on YouTube, and it says, does rice water really work? Actually, I have never gotten into the rice water craze and the rice water phase. Never even tried it. So I can't even give you an opinion based on experience. When I first grew natural, I was quite the try all the natural trends and phases that came on board. But now that I know what works on my hair, I really don't fall into everything that comes on board. So I haven't tried rice water actually. I do feel like a lot of what comes from nature naturally can benefit our hair. It may have to be modified, but it can benefit our hair. So I would say try it. I wouldn't knock it. But if you want to try it, you can go ahead and try it. So that was one question about rice water. I actually haven't tried rice water. I don't know what kind of YouTuber, what kind of natural hair YouTuber I am without trying rice water. Maybe that's something I should try. Let me know if that's something you want to see me try. I can probably do a month of trying rice water. How often do you use rice water anyways? But I have actually never tried it. Thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda says that my hair is very pretty. Thank you, Rhonda. Second question is, hey, did you ever have breakage in your hair, especially in the middle, and how did you repair it? Okay, really, really good question. Yes, I have had breakage in the center of my hair. Actually, I may have some breakage in the center of my hair right now. So I've been doing a lot of showing you guys the failures in my hair care journey recently, especially on YouTube. So if you're on Instagram and you only follow me on Instagram, perhaps you can check out my YouTube channel, because I show people a lot of the failures that I have with my natural hair there. Because people tend to think my natural hair journey is perfect, and it's not. So I actually may have some breakage, some very slight breakage in the center of my hair right now. I can't find it for you right now, but I did notice it about 2 weeks ago. Very little breakage. And what I think causes this breakage is how I consistently separate my hair when I'm working with my hair. So I typically separate my hair straight down the middle, and it is typically the very same part all the time. And in one of my first videos on YouTube, I would have mentioned that is one of the key ways to break your hair. by using the same parts all the time. So make sure that you're rearranging or you're changing your parts as time goes by, because if you keep parting your hair and you keep manipulating your hair in the same area, chances are you're going to get some breakage in that area. So right now I separated my hair. I gave my hair a side part because I typically wear a middle part now, and so I found some breakage in the center of my hair. So how do I repair breakage in the center of my hair? Another reason why you may be experiencing breakage in the center of your hair is because we tend to give the perimeter of our hair all of the love. We don't focus on the center of our hair as much. So if we're applying product, chances are we're applying it to the front of our hair, the back of our hair, and we're not concentrating on the center as much. So that is another reason you may be experiencing breakage, because the center of your hair is not as moist as it should be. You're not maintaining the moisture levels of the center of your hair. How do you repair breakage in the center of your hair? You first have to find out what's causing the breakage in the center of your hair. So if it's that you're parting your hair the same way all the time, then you need to change your parts. You can also separate the center of your hair by itself so that you're giving extra attention and care, so you're able to moisturize it properly. So instead of separating your hair in 4 down the middle or doing a side part, what you can do is separate a section in the center of your hair, and then you can separate around that section so that you're focusing on that section specifically and you're being extremely gentle with that section as well. Something else that can cause breakage in the center of your hair is constantly having your hair in one. So that's something that you want to probably look at. So find out what's causing the breakage in the center of your hair, and then you need to address that. More than likely, it's moisture. And sometimes the texture in the center of our hair is different and tighter than the texture in the perimeter of our hair. And so we don't treat it the way that it needs to be treated. It needs a little more love and a little more attention. So that is one way that you can try to repair the breakage in the center of your hair. Pay a little bit more attention to it, ensure that you're moisturizing, and ensure that you're being gentle when you're detangling. So yes. Okay, so last question on YouTube, and then I'm going to go to Instagram to answer the questions there. Let me try to get the questions on Instagram. I actually can't. Okay, I can get the questions that you sent before. So, but I actually would need to lean in a little bit to see if you have any questions here on Instagram. So send me your questions quickly, and I will answer the last ones on YouTube, and then I'll move over to Instagram to answer your questions there. So somebody says, Brittany, hey Brittany. She says that she's trying to grow her hair to waist length now, and it's currently at mid-back length, but it took a lot of patience. Any advice? I don't think that my hair has ever been at waist length. It's been close enough. Right before I cut my hair, it was pretty close. It was past mid-back length. So I don't know that I can tell you from experience, but my experience has been that hair grows, and if you're protecting your ends, you're preventing breakage by ensuring that you're moisturizing your hair and that you're not manipulating your hair overly, then your hair will grow. You just need to prevent it from breaking. Also, I would encourage you to trim it frequently, because split ends can compromise the entire strand, the entire health of your hair. So some people tend to, in the quest for longer lengths, not trim their hair as readily. That's a big no-no. Ensure that you're trimming your hair. You don't have to have a schedule, but you can observe your hair. Observe your hair. Right now, I know I need a trim for sure. My hair is quite dry right now, and I definitely need a trim because I'm seeing a few fairy knots. And fairy knots are the little knots that are at the strand of your hair. Generally, fairy knots come about. Oh, I actually see a question about single strand knots or fairy knots. They're the same thing. So I'll wait until I get to that question before I talk about fairy knots. So as I was saying, ensure that you're moisturizing. I would say deep conditioning for sure, because deep conditioning increases the moisture capacity of your hair. Ensure that you're not manipulating your hair a lot. I do not do a lot of protective styling, but protective styling has worked for persons who have the goal of reaching waist length and longer lengths. So if that works for your hair, then I would say protective style, but ensure that you're moisturizing while you're protective styling. And these are my tips. Ensure that you're protecting your hair and you're retaining the length rather than breaking it off. Also, it would depend on your climate. So here in the Caribbean, I know when it's really, really hot, I need to put my hair away because the sun dries out my hair and it actually makes it very brown. That's called sun damage. It actually affects the structure of the hair. So I know I need to put it away. But if you're in cold climates as well, you probably need to protect your hair a little differently during different seasons. So these are my tips. And the final question before I move to Instagram. I've been recently struggling with single strand knots, but I can't figure out why. Any thoughts on preventing that? Okay, so I would say single strand knots are a necessary evil in your natural journey. You can't fully prevent single strand knots, but here are the things you can do to decrease the frequency of single strand knots. Right now, like I said, I have something with single strand knots. They are not many, but I can feel them and I can see them. So single strand knots usually come about if your moisture regimen is not what your hair requires at the time. So you may feel like you're moisturizing your hair sufficiently. If your hair does not feel so, honey child, those single strand knots will make an appearance. And the reason for that is naturally because our hair is kinky, it curls upon itself, right? And because it curls upon itself, it makes these little twirls and it creates these little knots. If your hair is not moisturized enough, then it will knot up. If your hair is moisturizing enough, it has enough of an emollient or a product with slip, then when the strands curl up on each other, they're going to slide past each other because your hair is moisturized enough and it can slide past. It has some slip in it. So first thing I would say if you're experiencing single strand knots is that you check your moisture regimen, right? It may also mean that you're not trimming frequently enough, and so you're recognizing more single strand knots because, like I said, they're kind of unavoidable. Because I mean, if you the minute you don't have the perfect regimen, you may experience some knots. If you're experiencing a lot of knots, then you definitely need to check your moisture regimen for sure. And that doesn't only mean your post-wash moisture regimen, it also means your deep conditioning regimen. So you may be deep conditioning, but perhaps you're deep conditioning with a lot of protein deep conditioners. You probably need to add some moisturizing conditioners into that mix so that your hair is getting sufficient moisture and its capacity for retaining moisture is increased. That's what deep conditioning does. It trains your hair to be more moist generally. It increases its capacity for moisture. So that's what I would say. But also you need to probably check how you're moisturizing post-wash. So that means adding your leave-in conditioner and sealing. You can use the lock method or the LCO method or the curly girl method or the CGO method. There are quite a few on hand. But you also need to pay attention to how frequently you're re-moisturizing. So I usually recommend that people start moisturizing with every other day after they wash, and then you can observe how your hair responds. If you realize that when you go back to wash your hair after the 2 days after you first moisturized your hair and your hair is still very moist, then you can stretch it to every 3 days. If you realize that your hair was very dry when you went back to re-moisturize, you may need to moisturize every single day. So observe your hair and see what it needs moisture-wise. So that's definitely one thing. And then trimming is a big thing in terms of working with single strand knots. But moisture is really what's at hand. That answered your question. So I can't seem to access my live questions on my little other phone, but I'm going to answer the questions that were sent beforehand. And one question from Instagram from Brown Skin. Hey, Brown Skin. It asks, what have you done to retain your hair length? Hi Aquarelle 1978 on YouTube. She just said hi. I actually don't do anything special. I am not the poster child for protective styling. I don't have a very extensive protective styling regimen. I find that I do nothing special, really, guys, to be honest with you. So when people lament about their hair not growing and oh, your hair is growing, I have just learned what my hair needs. I respond to that quickly. So like tonight, I know that my hair is dry, but I know that moisturizing my hair tonight will not solve the problem fully. I know that my hair is dirty and it needs to be washed to be able to absorb the kind of moisture that it needs. Sis can't wash it tonight, so I will compromise by adding some leave-in conditioner to it. But I know that I need to wash my hair soon. So what have I done to retain my length? I would say I pay attention to the needs of my hair. I keep a good moisture regimen. I deep condition readily. I deep condition all the time. I love deep conditioning, and I try not to manipulate my hair too much. It's not even a conscious thing. Naturally, I tend not to manipulate my hair too much. You don't see me wearing styles that require much manipulation and separation of my hair. I generally wear braids. I generally wear twist outs. Or, I mean, sometimes I put my hair in puffs, but that's all I do. I don't really manipulate my hair a lot. So that is why you may be seeing that I am retaining a lot of length. My hair actually grows at the average rate of 1/2 inch per month, which is what the average person's hair grows at. So our hair is probably growing at the same rate. Yours is just not being retained. So deep conditioning, hey D! Deep conditioning for sure. Hi, keeping it real, Liz. Deep conditioning for sure has worked for me. I deep condition every single week. I wash my hair. I love deep conditioning. It's part of my self-care routine. And I ensure that my hair is moisturized before I touch it. I also never touch my hair when it's dry. I would always have a spray bottle on hand with just water or aloe vera juice, and I spritz my hair before I manipulate my hair because dry hair is even more prone to breakage. So that is how I have retained my length. I also have a very low manipulation happening. Second question from Instagram. Do you have a hair regimen? Can you give us a week in your hair video? Your hair grows so quickly. So as I mentioned, my hair grows at the normal rate. You might find it grows quickly, but it goes at the normal rate. Yes, I can definitely do a week in my hair video. I'm always rushing forward, guys. I sometimes leave home very early, so that's why I tend not to do a very good job at vlogging. But sis is trying. So if that is your thing, sis is trying with those vlogs once a month on YouTube. So check them out. I am not expending all that energy and putting all that work on nothing. You better check these vlogs out there. My YouTube tips, you'll ask for these vlogs, you'll better be watching them and sharing them. So yes, my little plug is done. Yes, I can definitely do a week in my hair video. I will do it for you guys this month. I'll actually do it this month, God willing. And what was the first part of the question? Do I have a hair regimen? Yes, I do have a hair regimen, and I have my little products here on hand to show you guys. So I typically wash my hair every week, and I've been doing that for the last 8 years. Although this past year in my natural hair journey, I've been stretching it to every 2 weeks, but that's not my preferred method. I prefer to wash my hair every week because my scalp has issues, like I said, although these issues have been coming down. Right? So I am generally not picky about my cleansers, but you guys know that I love my clays. I love bentonite clay. I love Rasul clay. I actually posted a little clip showing the difference of my hair length using bentonite clay and Rasul clay. One of my latest videos is actually a comparison between bentonite and Rasul clay. So check those out. Clay acts as a very natural cleanser. It detoxifies your scalp and your hair. So if you're looking to cleanse your hair and give it a deep cleanse without using a stripping shampoo, clay would be a great option, especially bentonite clay. So that's why I use clays. They also weigh your hair down and they make your curls pop. So, and they give other nutrients and minerals to your hair. So I love using clays. I am not very picky about shampoos. I typically like a creamy shampoo. But I'm not very picky about shampoos. I do use sulfates actually, guys. I'm not sulfate free. But recently, let me show you guys what I've been using to cleanse my hair for the most part. And that is the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. Let me put it a little. Oh, my light is too bright. Oh gosh, my light is too bright. Not for YouTube, my light is too bright for Instagram. But this is the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. I showed that on another live video that I did on YouTube about a month ago when I had just purchased it. Really, really, really love this. Those of you who are OG naturalistas would know that Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, the peppermint version, was quite the rage back in the day in the natural hair community. I found a store in Trinidad that carries it. I really, really like this, guys. I love it for bathing, for washing my hair. It is good for quite a few things. So that's what I've been using recently. You guys know, my YouTube fam knows that I am loyal to this conditioner. If I set you up on this conditioner, you better put a little finger up, a little emoji with a finger up, because sis is loyal. Y'all need to tell Herbal Essences to contact me and send me some conditioner, please, because I've been repping them and increasing their sales for no reward to me. Okay, no benefit to me whatsoever. But this is the Herbal Essences Hello Hydration Conditioner. Thoroughly love this conditioner. This is a bae. Okay, so that's what my regimen entails. I wash once a week using Dr. Bronner's soap or shampoo. Definitely using this conditioner unless I'm trying something else. I am definitely deep conditioning. Everybody on YouTube knows that my favorite deep conditioner is the Afagi Prolific Texture Treatment. It is an Afagi created this natural line, and this deep conditioner is the deep conditioner in the natural line. It has a yellow top. But unfortunately, I have not used it for the entire year because I have been unable to source it in Trinidad. When I go to St. Lucia, I'm definitely stocking up. The last time I was in St. Lucia, actually, though, I didn't find any on hand. So I may have to order it on Amazon. But that's my favorite deep conditioner. When I am not using it, I am usually using the Hask packet deep conditioners. And this year, I got a few deep conditioners in that some company sent me. So I was trying those. So but I always use a deep conditioner when I wash. So after deep conditioning, I rinse out. And I am using a leave-in conditioner. More than likely, I am using the Mixtress J Cosmetics Irish Moss Leave-In. Janelle from the Mixtress J Cosmetics would have sent me a set to try out. I would have pitched her. I would have told her that I was interested in trying the products. That was about a year ago, actually. It's quite a long time ago. And she actually sent me an extra set to give away. The giveaway winner has already been found. I still need to send your products for you, honey child. I'm so sorry, I was sick, and that has delayed my giveaway, me sending the stuff to you, but I will send it by the end of this week, God willing. So the products are there on hand. That is part of the product. I am usually using the Irish Moss Leave-In. I am also either using that leave-in or my own leave-in. Who knows, 2020, I may have some good news. Let us pray. Let us pray. Sisters, your support. Extend that audience. You better share those videos so that my audience expands. I need to make some coin so that I can work on some things. Okay. So I am either using Mixtress J or I'm using something that I make myself. I have a few other different leave-in conditioners, that companies have sent me again. I try them. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. I usually make a video on YouTube telling you if I like them or not. After my leave-in conditioner, I'm either sealing with an oil. Right now, I didn't bring it out, but right now, guys, I would have mentioned that in my last YouTube video, my last YouTube live actually. I am using an oil called Caribbean Girls Hair Oil. I will try to link the Instagram page. It's a local Trinidadian brand. I actually know the owner, but that's not why I'm plugging it. I actually really like the oil. Like I said, it has honey in it, which is an unusual ingredient for an oil, and it's very, very smooth. Really, really like the oil. Y'all know I don't lie. Ain't nobody got no time to tell no lies. Ain't nobody paying me. So I really like that oil. My favorite styler is the Camille Rose Naturals Almond Dry Twisting Butter. Pennywise Cosmetics in Trinidad is actually selling this product and all the Camille Rose Natural products cheaper than these other retailers. So check them out. They ain't paying me either. They need to be paying me too. Because the amount of money I'll be spending there, they need to pay me. So that is what my regimen entails. And then I'm usually doing a braid out. For the past year, actually, I've been blowing up my hair a lot. So I typically wash my hair at night. Like I literally feel like going to wash my hair tonight. And so I end up blowing up my hair. So I've been blowing up my hair a lot. I use the tension method blowout. Again, I recently posted a video about the tension method, what that is, how do you do it with a visual. So the tension method, for those of you who don't know, is a method where it's lower in manipulation than using a comb or using tools to blow out your hair. And it's simply where you take a section of hair and you stretch it with your hands manually and you pass your blow dryer along it, not super close, and it decreases the chance for heat damage and for mechanical damage actually, because you're not using a tool. Your manipulation is lower than if you were using a brush to blow out your hair. It's super straight. So guys, let me just try and see what your questions are on the Instagram live, if you have any. Oh Lord. Hey Jaron, thanks for stopping by. Okay, sorry for how my neck is there, guys, but what is your favorite hair oil? What are your thoughts on a hair steamer? Great question. So I just mentioned my favorite hair oil, which is a blend. I wouldn't even say it's my favorite hair oil. It's my favorite hair oil now. I'm not very particular about hair oils. I usually do my own mixtures, but I really like the Caribbean Girls hair oil. Like I said, I will plug the Instagram link after the video. I'll plug it and I'll put it in my YouTube comments. Yes, I'll do that for you guys. So I'll plug all of the products that I mentioned. I'll put it somewhere after the videos, after the lives. So that's my favorite oil. But speaking in general, when I'm mixing my own oils, I really like olive oil. Olive oil is one of my favorites. I also like coconut oil, although I have not used it for a very long time. I usually take breaks. So sometimes my hair gets tired, and so I rotate my use of oils. I love essential oils, but please note, that's another video that I'm coming up with. Essential oils need to be placed in carrier oils. Carrier oils are oils that come from the nut of a fruit. So the coconut, the mango nut, the shea nut, these are carrier oils. Oils that come from the stem or the leaves of a plant are essential oils. So peppermint, your lemon, your orange. These are essential oils. So essential oils are very potent, and so they need to be placed in carrier oils. But I really love essential oils. Right now, I'm really loving grapefruit essential oil. All of the citruses actually, lemon essential oil, orange. I love bergamot as well. I love peppermint essential oil. That is a staple for me. And I usually place them in either olive oil or coconut oil. Olive oil right now for me. I also love flaxseed oil a lot. I don't like castor oil actually. Most people love castor oil, but I typically don't like castor oil. It does to me what people say coconut oil does to them. It dries out my hair and makes it very weedy. When you moisturize your hair, do you spray it with warm water? No, I do not spray my hair with warm water. That's never been a practice that I use. But what I do when I'm washing my hair, if I am going to use warm water, I typically start out using warm water. And that is to open the cuticles of my strands so that the product that I'm using can penetrate and my hair can be cleansed properly. And I use it also. I would use warm water before I deep condition to open again the cuticle of my hair so that the product can penetrate deeper. That's what heat does. It opens the cuticle layer so that the product can penetrate beyond the surface. So if I'm washing and I feel like being fancy, then I would use warm water in the initial part of my wash day. And towards the end, I would use cool water. And cool water is to close the cuticle back. So after you've deep conditioned and you've probably done your final rinses, then you can use cool water to close back the cuticle of your hair. You can also use aloe vera juice, cold aloe vera juice to do that, or an apple cider vinegar rinse, which will close back the cuticle of your hair and ensure that your hair retains a little more moisture. But no, I do not spray my hair with warm water. I just spray it with any water, room temperature water. You guys, I cannot see it. What porosity am I? So, guys, porosity speaks to how porous your hair is, how much it can take in, and how quickly it lets substances out of your hair strand. It is good for your hair to be in the middle, but between high porosity and low porosity, I would say that low porosity is better. My hair typically ventures between low porosity to normal porosity. It's really normal porosity right now, which is a good thing. And low porosity simply means that your hair does not absorb moisture or ingredients as readily. But it also means that if you effectively open your cuticle so that the moisture is absorbed into your strand, your hair would not let go of that moisture readily. So your hair will remain moisturized a little longer. With high porosity, your hair absorbs readily, but it also lets go of moisture. It also lets go of moisture readily, and so that means your hair is more prone to dryness. Hope that helps you. That is one of the critical components, the critical characteristics of hair that you should know about. Your hair porosity, your hair density. Typically, what we speak about as the thickness of your hair is your hair density. And that is simply the number of strands you have in 100 cubic centimeters of your hair. Some people have more strands than others. I have medium density, I would say, medium to high density. Some people have low density. That doesn't mean that your hair is thin. Another characteristic is the thickness of your strand. Is your strand coarse or is it fine? So some people actually have high density hair and they have fine strands. My hair typically ventures towards fine strands. My hair is not very coarse. So these are some of the characteristics you should know about in your hair. About your hair, sorry. Have you had negative responses about your hair? Let me see. Is sweet almond oil a sealant or a penetrating oil? Girl, you came to ask some questions. Yes, I love it, Jay Williams. You better take that free consultation. Yes, you don't know when you have to pay for it again. Let me see if there are any other questions. What is your pregnant oil? Okay, I answered that already. Do I use the lock method? Okay, don't be shy about asking questions, guys. Hey, darling, you are on both Instagram and YouTube. That's a true fan. Yes, I love it. Let me stop my nonsense. But okay, do I use the lock method? I rotate between the lock method and the LCO method. I tend to think that the LCO method works better for me. The moisture lasts a little longer. But I'm not sure, so I rotate between the two. It depends on how I'm feeling on the day. And for those of you who are new to the natural hair game, these terms may not be familiar to you. The lock method is a method that we use for moisturizing our hair. Again, I have a whole entire video on the lock method and the LCO method and the LGO method and which one you should probably use. So check out these videos for more in-depth information. I'm actually a natural hair nerd, if you haven't realized. So I love the science of natural hair. Beyond just having cute styles and growing your hair, I love the science of natural hair. So the lock method is pretty much, all of the methods are a layering method. And these methods were created because we realized that simply moisturizing your hair or adding a product to your hair was not sufficient to keep your hair moisturized, and that's why a lot of natural girls were experiencing breakage and did not retain the length. And so these layering methods were created. And pretty much a lock method is a liquid or a leave-in. That's what the L is for. The O is for your oil-based product or your oil. And the C is for your cream product, right? So it's pretty much layering. So you can use water for your liquid or your leave-in, or you can use aloe vera juice, or you can use whatever mixture that you have, which is in liquid. And then you're using an oil or an oil-based product. A product can be oil-based or water-based, depending on how it was created. It depends on whether, okay, so let's not get into all of that. So you're using your oil-based product, your oil, your shea butter, your mango butter, your mixes. And then you're adding a cream as an extra layer, which is a mixture of oil and water. And that's an additional layer to increase your moisture. A little later, after the lock method, the LCO method came about. It just changes how you put the products. So LCO method is your liquid or your leave-in, the cream, and then your oil to seal in all of that moisture at the end. Some people say that the lock method works for them, and some people say that the LCO method works for them. Both work for me. You can try out either one, and you can figure out which one works for you better. Again, like I said, I have an entire video on that. After that, a few years after that, the LGO method came about, and that's for people who do wash and goes. So your liquid or your leave-in, your gel, and then your oil. So yes, I use either, and if I'm doing a wash and go, I use the LGO method. It depends on how I'm feeling. And these days I'm quite lazy, so I don't even actually do the LCO method or the lock method or the LGO method. I sometimes just add a liquid and I seal in my moisture. I don't do the additional step. Okay, yes, you also asked what are my thoughts on a hair steamer. I actually own the Curido hair steamer that I paid my own money for, my own coins, my own $70 US. Too much if you ask me. What was I was rich. These companies need to send me these products. I actually quite like the steamer. The steamer works really well. I wish that I would pull it out a little more frequently for my money. I don't get as much use of it as I should for the amount that I paid, but it has nothing to do with the steamer. It just has to do with my laziness. So I actually quite believe in steaming your hair. So pretty much what steaming does is it uses both heat and moisture to moisturize your hair. So the heat is opening your cuticle because it's using wet heat. Steam is pretty much wet heat. The heat is opening your cuticle and it's infusing water into your strands, so you cannot go wrong with a steamer. I quite believe in using a steamer. So I answered my porosity. Have I ever gotten a negative response to my natural hair? I can't say that I have, I can't say that I have. People are usually in awe of my natural hair. And guys, I take wearing my natural hair very seriously. I'm a natural hair ambassador, okay? I do not like to go out. I very rarely go out with my hair looking anyhow. And when I do, I feel ashamed. Like I regret going out with my hair looking anyhow. Because I feel like people already have bad views of natural hair. So I need to rock my hair and look fabulous so that people will be moved to ask me about it, so that I can tell them about natural hair. So I typically wear my hair very well, and people are usually in awe of that, even if they don't think it's something that they want to do personally. And I make it my personal mandate to convert everybody around into natural hair, to be honest with you. A lot of people that I've converted have always said, I would never go back natural. Ask all of them. They are now natural and loving it and being fabulous, okay? So no, I actually haven't received any negative feedback, any negative reviews. I think it's a function of how I wear my hair and how I present myself as well. And two, generally, I'm a dashing leaf, guys. If you ask solution, you know the phrase. I am a dashing leaf. When it rains, the water slides off the dashing leaf's back. Hello, if you're not important to me, like I wouldn't even know if there is any negative feedback coming from you because I'm not paying attention. Like you're not important to me. Like your views don't have that much sway in my life. That's how I am generally. People tend to think that means that I'm stoosh. I am just actually I'm quite introverted, and I am quite hyper focused. So if I'm somewhere, I'm focusing on what I came here to do. Like, if you're not part of that, then sorry, I'm not paying attention to what you have to say. So perhaps there were negative responses to my hair, but I wouldn't know. But they never approached me with their negative responses to my hair. Okay, so somebody says, very interesting comment, which I don't agree with there. Somebody says the hair's 3 stages of growth. Not everyone's hair will grow long. Okay, I actually have a video about that as well. Can your hair grow long? Is it that your hair is genetically predisposed to being short? What is that? Boop, 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 right? I have an entire video about that with the science of it all laid out for you. I'm going to simplify it, probably oversimplify it right now, but you can check out that video as well. Like I said, I will put some links for you guys. Hello, just check out my YouTube channel, okay? You better binge watch. So the hair has different phases, the anagen phase, the telogen phase, and all of the other phases, right? And pretty much these phases are where your hair strand grows and the hair is sometimes pushed out of the cuticle, which is why you have shedding, right? So persons are using this argument to say that some persons' phase, the growth phase, is shorter than others. And so some people's hair is predisposed to growing long, while others' hair is predisposed to growing short, and some people will never have long hair. Actually, on average, the growing phase for the average human is 5 years. So the space of time between when the strand is embedded and it grows and it's pushed out of the cuticle to be shed is 5 years. Okay? So if you're retaining length and you have no breakage, let's do that math. Let me pull up my little calculator. If your hair is growing 1/2 inch per month, 1/2 inch per month, and your hair is growing for the entire year, and you're retaining that length, then it means that you're growing 6 inches per year, right? 6 inches per year multiplied by 5 years is 30 inches, honey child. That is past waist length, okay? So everybody's hair has the capacity to grow to a decent length. Whether your hair's phase is longer than somebody else's, perhaps my hair's phase is longer than somebody else's, I don't think so. My hair sheds quite readily. And, you know, the average person's hair has the capacity to grow to 30 inches if you retain all your length. Let's say we're taking away some length, because I am not retaining all my length. And very few people are retaining all the length. It's unrealistic to expect that you're retaining all your length in the 5 years. Let's say that you have a few instances of breakage, and let's take away some 6 inches from that. That is 24 inches of hair. So that's the average person. Perhaps your phase is longer still, and so you still have the capacity to grow long hair. Everybody has the capacity to grow decent length hair. That shouldn't be your goal. It isn't my goal personally. My goal is to grow healthy hair, and with health comes length. But, honey child, your hair can grow, okay? Don't let them tell you that your genetics will not allow your hair to grow. Okay. Do you have tips for restoring damaged hair? I should read my book so I can write down the things. What can be done to stop or minimize breakage? I realize that I'm getting older, I have lots of breakage, and this was something I never used to experience when I was permed. If to bridge, etc., never had breakage. Okay, so any tips to repair damaged hair? My main tip for repairing damaged hair is to ensure that your moisture protein balance is on point, that there is a great balance between your moisture levels and your protein levels. Your hair needs both moisture and protein to thrive. So we speak a lot about moisture, but we don't speak about the role of protein in increasing your hair's capacity for moisture. If your hair only has moisture and your protein levels are very low, it means that your hair is too elasticized and it will stretch and be weak. Your hair is a protein. Your keratin is a protein. So you need to replenish the protein that you've lost through manipulation and the wear and tear and the processes that you're using on your hair. So in terms of repairing damage, the first thing I would say is to ensure that you're deep conditioning your hair and you're using an elasticity treatment. An elasticity treatment is a treatment that has a great balance between moisturizing ingredients and protein ingredients. I have a list of recommended products that work typically for most hair types that I generally send to people when they ask me to make product suggestions. I will leave my newsletter link down below, guys. Please follow my newsletter and I will send you things like these resources, like the recommended product list, recommended practices, so that you don't have to go and search for all of these things. My newsletter will keep you up to date on that kind of information. So I will leave my newsletter link down below, and I will send, after these videos, I will send you all of the things that I mentioned, all the resources that I mentioned in these live videos, right? So that's my number one tip in terms of repairing breakage. Also ensure that you're not over manipulating your hair if your hair is already damaged. So let's say your edges are broken off. Ensure that you're not doing baby hairs to Zion because your edges are already broken. Although I need to listen to that. Guys, I never used to be slaying down my edges before. I got into the habit about a year ago, and I'm seeing that my hairline is getting thinner, and I'm still laying and slaying. I need to stop that nonsense. Like, it is not a good practice for your edges. It is not. No edges are not cute, honey. Okay? So if that's something that you're noticing, you need to take the precautions that are necessary. But definitely upping your moisture regimen, ensuring that you have a balance between your protein and your moisture, and ensuring that you're not over manipulating your hair. So, other question, what can be done to stop or minimize breakage? In terms of breakage, you also need to pay attention to your moisture protein balance. If your hair is breaking off, it either means that it doesn't have enough moisture or it has too much moisture. And too much moisture can be solved by adding protein, right? That's why the whole concept of moisture protein balance is a thing in the natural community. They balance each other off. If your hair is too elastic, adding protein will solve that. If your hair has too much protein, adding moisture will solve that. So in terms of breakage, is one of those things that is being affected. Also look at how you're manipulating your hair. Are you using too many tools? For me, for the last 6 years or so, I pretty much used finger detangling a majority of the time. Anytime that I introduce tools into my hair care regimen, I realize that my hair breaks off. My hair cannot tolerate all of these tools in my hair. So you need to find out what is breaking your hair. Is it the use of tools? Is your diet on point? That's something else that I should be touching on and that I have not touched on. Your diet. While you can add all of the ingredients to your hair topically, it also, hair grows from the inside out. It also matters what is inside your body, what you are feeding your hair from inside of your body. And your hair, your skin, your nails are the accessory parts of your body. The remnants of your nutrients will go to these. So after all your major organs have taken the nutrients that they need, that is when your hair, your skin, and your nails will get their ingredients. So if you're not taking in enough, it means that your hair, your skin, and your nails are not getting. So that's something you need to pay attention to. Apart from buying all of the most expensive products in the world to put on your hair, you need to be looking at your diet. Are you eating enough fruits and vegetables? Or are you eating things that are unhealthy? And so your hair is not getting any nutrients because your body has used all of the nutrients from the things that you're eating. Also, your water intake is very important. It's something that I struggle with. I typically don't like to drink a lot of water, but I consciously try to because I know that my hair needs it. it will affect how moist your hair is. So all these things can be contributed to the breakage of your hair. Yeah, and how you pretty much manipulate your hair, how you detangle, how you style, are you being gentle enough? Or even things like things that act generally good or can be considered good can break in your hair. I remember at one point I was seeing some breakage in the front of my hair and my edges, and I just could not figure out what was happening until I realized it was my bonnet. My bonnet was not the one that had the silk band, the silk band, and so it was rubbing against my hair and breaking off my edges. If you're not sleeping with a satin scarf or a satin pillowcase or a satin bonnet, that may be something that's breaking off your hair as well, because the cotton absorbs all the moisture from your hair, and when your hair rubs against it, the friction causes your hair to break off. I'm going to come back to answer your final questions on YouTube. I should be closing off soon. I have really nice hair. What should I do to help others be as attractive as I? Dude, bye. Guy, this guy's like my little brother, and he's so ridiculous. Goodbye, Jonathan. You actually made me waste time to read that nonsense. Collagen. Hey, heels. Collagen. Yes, honey child. So that's something you can definitely add to your regimen. It's a protein as well. Ensure that you're using proteins to deep condition your hair. But don't take the packaging's word for it, because some products advertise themselves as being rich in protein and will strengthen your hair. But when you look at the ingredient list, there is no protein. To have sufficient protein, you need to ensure that the product has a hydrolyzed form of a protein. So you may see in the back that it has hydrolyzed wheat protein, hydrolyzed silk protein, or it may also say amino acids. Amino acids are the smallest building blocks of protein, so it is small enough to penetrate your hair strand. Or a hydrolyzed form of protein is broken down so that it can penetrate your hair strand. And that is why persons who are enlightened also don't recommend that you deep condition your hair with eggs, because the size of the particle in the protein in the egg is too large to penetrate the strand. So it may patch the holes in your cuticle, but it cannot penetrate beyond that. So it's a very temporary form of protein that you're using when you're using eggs. So I think these are all the questions from Instagram. I have a couple more questions on YouTube. Somebody says, how long did it take to retain my length? My hair is about 2 years old right now. The length that I have right now is about 2 years old, and I haven't done a length check in a little while. Let me do one for y'all. So my hair is actually brush strap length right now. So yes, that's 2 years worth of length at brush strap length. Did I trim my ends? Yes, I do trim my ends, and I'm due for a trim right now. If I do go and wash my hair right now, I'm going to trim it off. So guys, I only have about 1 minute on my Instagram left, which would make it an hour that I've been speaking. My mouth is dry. Y'all owe me for this big time. Why did I cut my hair? I mentioned it earlier, keeping it real easy. I just felt like I needed some change in my life. Not even with my hair, in my life. I needed to change my job. I needed to change where I was. I needed to change countries. I was ready to move, and so I cut my hair. I was going with Coco Chanel. A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. I actually wasn't going by the quote. I actually felt the urge to cut my hair. And I typically do that. I cut my hair. I did my first big chop when I landed in Trinidad for university. I felt like it was time. And I felt this urgency to cut my hair. What products would I recommend to a bald or low-cut natural? I have 28 seconds on Instagram left. The same products I would recommend to somebody who has thriving hair. I would say to do the lock method, or simply spritz your hair and add some oil to seal in the moisture. So that's what I would say. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Check me out on Instagram if you're not on Instagram. Follow me. Check me out on YouTube if you're not there. And I will send all of the links somehow. Follow my newsletter. I will put it in my story and in the comment section on YouTube. And thanks for stopping by.